Daf Yerushalmi Shabbos. In the article Ozvar edition, we're on the second line of Daf Nun Ches Amav V'chol Davar Shu Lanoyas Karka, and that is in the Vilna on Daf Mem Zayin Beis, the third line down. V'chol Davar Shu Lanoyas Karka, anything which is for the benefit of the earth, is the Chayv Mishum Choresh Yer Chayv on Shabbos the Kind of Choresh. A Chofer, yeah, somebody digs a hole. Choret, somebody makes a groove. Hanoet, somebody who pegs something in the ground. Medayer, and somebody who makes a corral to put his animals there in order to fertilize the ground with their manure. To benefits the ground. Ma'ader, somebody who hoes the ground. It says some place where they don't plow, they hoe. Hamazabel, somebody who actually fertilizes the ground. Hamachabed, somebody who sweeps the house, and this, of course, levels whatever dirt is on the floor of the house. Hamarabetz, somebody who pours water on the dirt in the house in order to tamp it down, in order to level it. Hamefapea, gushim, somebody who breaks clumps of dirt, which are in order to make them suitable for planting. Mevara b'charoshim, somebody who says he cuts out small trees in a forest in order that the remaining large ones should grow thicker. Another pshat, but we'll go with that pshat. Somebody who ignites a fire in a thicket of reeds. The Korbanei changed the next word to va'agam instead of ba'agar, and in a marsh, in other words, in order to prepare the land for cultivation. Agam actually uvagam to morim. He says that there are bad dates in this swamp, and he wants to get rid of them to plant something else. Rabbi Zira, the name of the Korbanei says, "Amar Perkim L'Shvius, Kach Enosim Amud Chil B'Moed." Now to make a irrigation canal initially on a Chol Moed L'Shvius Midu Nation Machshel Zeli Zira, because the sides are then prepared to be planted. So on Shabbos Yechayim Mishum Choresh, because making an irrigation canal makes the banks of that canal more suitable to planting. Amasakel, somebody moves stones from the ground in order to make it more suitable for planting. Habanamajay, somebody makes terraces. The way they plant on hillsides. Hamalis, the claim Shataras Hazesim, somebody who fills in the cracks on these olive trees. Both Ugios Likfanim, and somebody who makes a furrow around a grapevine in order to fill it with water. Anything where you're benefiting the ground, Chaim Shum Choresh. On account of Chorish. The Chiv Hashem Yochanan said, "Hamavash in the Bela b'Yontav Eino Loke." If you cook in the Bela, it's kind of left field, but we'll see. Somebody who cooks in the Bela on Yontav doesn't get malchus. Why? Because since Hutra L'Tzorech, Hutra Shlo L'Tzorech, right? Since you're allowed to cook on Yontav L'Tzorech, so therefore even Shlo L'Tzorech is not. You're not chayiv. You're not over on. You don't get malchus. Rabbi Shimon Loike. You do get malchus. You only have to cook for the purpose of eating, and this you're not allowed to eat. Hey, see Rabbi Bar Memo al Rabbi Yochanan. Now we bring it back around to our sugya. Rabbi Bar Memo asks on Rabbi Yochanan, Miato, if that's the case, HaChoresh, somebody does Charish on Yontav, they buy as much like a malchus. Shouldn't be Charish Yontav. You're allowed to do Charish on Yontav, you're allowed to dig Mido Raisa for the purpose of Kisi Adam, to dig up the dirt to cover the blood, because that's part of the preparation for food. So yes, B'Shem said, no. You're sitting in malchus because Lohutra Charisha Kidarka. It's only mutter by a. Now, according to Moshe, it seems to mean that it's not chafira bedeker, which you're allowed to do, like push a stake into the ground in order to loosen dirt. It's not really benefiting the ground. So therefore, it's not really true charisha. So it's not that the raisa would be okay, and Rabbanan require make a shine, but really it's a different type of digging. It's not benefit the ground. Rabbi Shimon or Mark Rabbi Yossi, anybody not a problem. Rabbi Achim, Rabbi Yishim, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Achim, Rabbi Yila, Rabbi Shimon, it's Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Shimon, Achiyelo Tzar, Begufa Shalavar, Yoli Chai, Melech Tzrich Legufa. Melech Shabbos, Tzrich Legufa, and Tzrich Legufa would be where you do it to be Miyapeh the Karka to make the ground better. And here, Hachofer Guma Veino Tzarech El Lafora. You're only making the hole not to make the ground better. You do it only in order to get the dirt for Kisei Adam. It's a melech which is not being done for the purpose done in the Mishkan, but some other purpose, and therefore, anyway, it's not at the Raisa here. So you don't. So that's why. You can't say that migo that charisha is mutar yastav usar Kisei Adam. It's mutar for you put not chayev if you malchus if you did it not for purpose of Kisei Adam because. The one being done for Kisadam is not a true malacha, it's a malacha, it's a gufa. Come Rabbi Yasa, the pretty much but saying in Rabbi Acha. So Rabbi Yasa got up and said to Rabbi Acha, at Amarta Damilsa, did you say this? That's why I meant to mention that this is not explicit in the Gemara, it's in Beitza. So the Kormeida brings it down. The Masked Rabbi Shimon he. Hadmatim Beishamai Reish Beitza Sheach B'Bedek V'Yichas. That was Beishamai says you could at the beginning of Beitza you were allowed to push the stake into the ground and loosen dirt in order to do Kisadam. Beisil Matim Deker Na'utz. Beisil says it was okay if the stake was there from before Yontif. So in that case, over that, that Rabbi Shimon and had said Rabbi Yasser, Rabbi Achim, Shem that's going Rabbi Shimon. Okay, the Shimon who says that's a Melech Shein Sil Gufa, and therefore because Simchas Yontif they permitted this. Okay, so now he said to them, okay, did you say that that's going Rabbi Shimon? Atamar Damil says that permissibility is going to Rabbi Shimon. Lokim Rabbi Yochanan did Rabbi Yochanan say Divi Rabbi Meir, Korah Meir, Asim Ba'arba Dvarim, B'kulei Beisham Chumrei Beisil. There are 24 things which are Kulas Beishamai, Chumas Beisil, Zechamim. This is one of them. One of them is that Beis Hillel says you have to have the stake stuck into the ground from before Shabbos began. From before Yontif began. You can't stick it into the ground on Yontif. Neymar Chav Gimel. Now, this is a very strange question. It's very difficult to understand what the Hamin is here, but he's saying that if you're saying that's Rabbi Shimon, so it must be Rabbi Yehuda disagrees. And Rabbi Yehuda so this would be awesome. So, doesn't Rabbi Meir hold like Rabbi Yehuda? Also, so therefore, that whole sugi would be null and void according to Rabbi Meir, and therefore there would only be 23, not 24. I said 24. It must be that Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Shimon hold the same thing. That Melech Shein Tzirich Gufa is putter, and that's why there's a kula over there. And Beis Hillel is more machmir, even if you're mekel, unless they require you to have the decker notes me by yom. In other words, once it's the Rabbanan, the question is what Rabbanan would matir it. To what extent Rabbanan matir, as Korban says, because of Simchas Yontif, how far are they matir? Now, we used to think, says, the Lo Chen Tzar Meimar, did we not used to think, the Lo Chen Tzar Meimar, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon, Shomer Davar Echad, Rabbi Yossi, who says you only, he says, when you mechabes aner, you're potter, unless you're doing it for the psila, because it has to be lacha tzich legufa, that you're being mechabe amnas lahavir, that you want to make the psila suitable to ignite another time. Namer, let's say, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon, Shlosh Amru Davar Echad, which really say that Rabbi Meir also holds that way. In other words, he holds, so Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Shimon holds that way, but we should have mentioned Rabbi Meir as well. So next I'm going to go with the Korban change of Girsa here. Elamila tzricha rabbanan shitan l'chom, shitan rabbanan tzricha l'chom. That which is the rabbanan, according to you, that which rabbanan asked is obvious, and that which is obvious to rabbanan, you should ask as follows. Right? So, kotzer tzarech hasavim, chai mishum kotzer. It says if you cut grass because you want the grass. So you're chai mishum kotzer. And that the Rabbanan asks, "Ve'eno chai mishum yapes hakarka." You're not chai also because of choresh, because you improved the land. Lo tzurcha. That according to you, lo tzurcha ela. That's not a question according to you, because that's a malacha shein tzich legufa. You're not doing it for that purpose. You're doing it for the purpose of the grass. So you're not going to be chayv on miyapes for miyapes hakarka. That's not a question according to you. So the question is about this. Kotzer yapos is a karka. What happens if you cut in order to enhance the ground? Mao shu chayv mishum kotzer mishum yapes karka. You chayv also because of kotzer and because of yapes karka. And the Gilead Ephraim explains this nicely. He says the stam k'tzir l'tzorch davar niktzar. By default, when you do something when you harvest, you're harvesting the thing which you're harvesting. Not to beautify, to enhance the ground. I'm sorry, I read the wrong place. They came to stop kitziru l'tzorch davar niktzar. Since by default, kitziru is l'tzorch davar niktzar, chai mishum koitza filim miskavi yapos karka low. So it's a chai because of kotzer, even though your intent was liapos karka. It's in other words, according to Rabbi Shimon? Yes, it's true. It's a melech it's a gufa. It could be a melech it's a gufa on the normal grass. But come on, katsira, when you're cutting grasses, can you say that? It's obvious that he's doing it also for the purpose of being kotzer, isn't it? That's the question. Do I say that? Say it's still melech it's a gufa because in primary terms the apos karka. They say by definition katsira, the chalei shem katsira is for the purpose of asavim. So therefore, you can't really get out of that second isser. And even though Rabbi Shimon holds Oshen Zugavas Potter, here could be like Kotzer, it's different. But Rabbanan, of course, according to Rabbanan, which is Rabbi Yehuda, you're certainly going to be chayev. Regardless, you did both. So therefore, it's not a question. But according to you, there is a question. What about this case of what you didn't have in mind to be applikarka, but still, kotzer is kotzer. The Shah says, and I think I saw it elsewhere as well, which is that could be because it's slightly different, because kotzer is a ab malacha by itself. And you can't, if it's a separate ab malacha, so somehow that makes it you can't get out of it and say I'm not doing it for kotzer, because this is the tzura. It's very similar to swar. This is the tzura of kotzer, so that's it. Yeah, maybe there's no getting out and saying I'm just doing the opposite karka, not the rubistic tzira. It could be the same swar. The words of the rabbis are raya for Rabbi Yossi, which is that was potter. It says, if you squeeze the fish, if it's to get out the liquid for the fish itself, so then I raise the part that's possible as machshen tzir chayev. If it's to take out the tzir, then you're chayev. It's interesting. Yerushalmi, the Shas wants to say that according to the discussion of whether schita is an aviv in and of itself, in any event, the assumption is that it's a mishum dash. So if you do it because you want the brine out of the fish, so that is, according to this opinion, and therefore you be chayiv. Maybe it's a Shas inside in a minute. And Vafil Tamer Rabbi Shimoni Damar Ram Krabonon. So some of the fortune take out Fil Rabbi Shimoni Damar because it's duplicated from above. But in any event, the main point is this question is this would be true according to Shimon, but according to Rabbanan, the final analysis, regardless of what your intent was, since it's Rabbi Yehuda, who Rabbanan is Rabbi Yehuda, it's a melech, so therefore it doesn't matter. So in this, Shah says, I must cover Ran, the Schita came which Eina Amalacha, Rakto the Dash, Koshen Silcha Mashka, and Ischak, Ain't a malacha cloud, lo dami l'dash. If you don't need, it's not a malacha at all. It's going to run. If you don't need that liquid coming out, because the tolada, the clearly Yerushalmi doesn't hold that way. And that's what he says. But the Ran says, "My time is sorry kvashim l'gufa mutar." So kasha ma'chayv rabbanan. That's Yerushalmi. Other shit said, "B'yocham Yudim and Breaker should be the common. The schito amalav mivnei. There was all discussion why it should be chayv here. It could be that according to the Ran, it should be potter, and evidently the Yerushalmi and the Ran don't jibe necessarily. Okay, we don't have to get into it right now. Yerushalmi gets into a new issue here. Call the Rashu Mavchilas Aperos. Korbaneh says Shemisayeh Levashul Gamer Apri. It helps the fruit to become ripe. Lashon Semel Uvachel. It's full of moisture, becomes more ripe. So anything that's Mavchilas Aperos Chayv Mishum Zoreh, it's Chayv on account of Zoreh. So Hanotea, somebody who plants. Hamarich, somebody who runs a runner off a plant and puts it back in the ground. Marcus, somebody who grafts. Hamakarsim, somebody who prunes. One of the kirsim is by other trees, and a zomer is by specifically by zomer. The zomer. Well, it doesn't say zomer here, but zomer doesn't say it. No, the emotion to coordinate to take it down. Anyway, it's by grapevines. Hamazared. That's you take off, you prune off moist branches. V'hamefasel, you take off the psolis, you take off the bad stuff from the tree. V'hamezayim, you plug up some sort of missing bark in the tree with some sort of cream or some sort of whatever it is they use in order to do that. Mefarek, you take off the stones which are sitting on the tree roots and impeding its growth. Ma'avik, you use smoke. Not that was smoke, dust. The roots with dust. Ma'ashen, this is smoke. Use the smoke in order to kill worms. Matli, actually remove the worms. Kotea, the Pnei Moshe Korvei have a gears of koteim, you snap off twigs, I guess, which are damaging. Hasach, you put oil on the tree. Vamashke, you water the plant. Vamenakev, and you somehow make holes in the fruit so water gets into them directly. Osabatim, you make houses. This is some sort of structure around the tree in order to either protect it from the elements or to put more dirt in it. Anything which enhances the growth of the fruit, chayv mishum zareh, that's chayv on account of planting. Okay. And I think that's we'll stop here today, but it goes already on the next Talmud.